The main image that was in my head when Sophie asked me to write a play that commemorated the end of the First World War was I was thinking about a shipwreck, and after a shipwreck all this kind of wreckage floats to the top of the water, and I was thinking about people in that way, that after a great trauma such as the First World War, people re-emerge, but they are incredibly different. Everything about them has changed and changed utterly. So Crossings is both a gentle and a fierce play. It's gentle because it cuts right into the humanity and the joy and the beauty of the four characters at the centre of it. But it's also fierce because it doesn't ignore or dissipate or undermine in any way what they've been through or the effect that trauma has had on them.
I think in the play particularly, memory is very important, and music can create a journey through memory. There's one particular piece of music which is called the Castle Walk. So it was the first time that two people, instead of dancing like this with a waltz, danced close to each other. And it was the beginning of contemporary dance. It was the beginning of modern dance and of pop dance and I suppose of ballroom dance. And I love that we get to play with that a little bit here in the very halls where those dances would first have been made, where people came together and danced.
Dancing has a really transformative effect on the characters in the play, in that they end up dancing and it shifts the level of their relationship hugely just through that act of dancing together.
For me, because I'm more of a singer than a dancer, singing is an incredibly strong way of connecting a community. I would urge anyone to be in a choir. I think it's such a fantastic thing, not really even about the sound you make, but about the experience of singing together and getting together. It's joyous. It's a long, long way to take
I was really keen that we had not only live music in the show, but live music that could set apart or provoke or spark a memory in an audience member. Music that you don't realise that you know, but actually it's been in your soul forever.
A local pianist called David has kindly recorded a lot of the piano pieces in the play. What I've decided to do is build this up with a lot more orchestration, with a few strings and timpani and everything. And that nicely builds up towards the end of Act 1 to create this sort of climax. And we play about with that throughout the piece and bring that back in different ways.
I'd say that I had spring fever, but I know it isn't spring.
It's important to say that Grace is a male actor, but he's playing Grace, and we're not trying to drag him up. We're trying to give him a kind of armour and a protective layer, and he specifically says in the script that he's got this connection and he likes the feeling of lace and silk and all those kind of soft fabrics, and he's very pure in this kind of white, beautiful sense. And then next to Margaret, the juxtaposition between both characters is quite beautiful.
Act 1 is set in a village hall in 1919, and Act 2 is set in a sitting room in 2019, so essentially separated by 100 years and how many miles. So my job is to kind of link the two stories together, because we're not seeing the same characters, we're not seeing the same story, but there is a link between the characters and the story. So hopefully the set design says a little bit about that. As a lighting designer, I find that my job is very much to edit the show for the audience. So instead of seeing it through a screen, where the TV would kind of tell you where to look, as a lighting designer you can very much focus the audience's attention to certain areas of the stage to say this is an important moment, this is an important character.
And the play itself is sort of, it's telling stories that you'd have in villages and places like this. And I think that it's really nice that it's not just taking a professional performance out to villages, it's also telling stories that they can relate to and that they can understand.
If we can rock up to a village hall in some of these tiny little hamlets and we bring the same professional values as you get at the main houses. Everything is exactly the same as in a main house, but it's in your village hall. You'll probably only pay about £10 for a ticket there. You can have your tea before you come out to the theatre. You can probably walk or drive 5 minutes. And it makes it so accessible. It truly democratises theatre.
You can sit and enjoy it, you know, and be entertained by it and enter into it and enter into these lives. And some of the hard lessons might land the next morning.